Hello, everyone. Kim here, Abundant Life to Row. I'm super excited to have my friend Donna from Artists and Oracles here with me today. We are continuing our series of Artistry of Cartomancy, and we're also continuing our discussion about the ritual of reading for others. And check out part one. I put in the description box below links to Donna, and I'll make sure we put a link to her channel in the chat. But in the description box, you can have all her deets of how to reach her. But also, we have the link for part one, and we're creating a little playlist of these discussions too. So, yay, Donna, welcome back.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for having me back. Always lovely to be with you.
I know,
Yay.
I love hanging with you. How are you doing? What's been going on with you?
Oh my goodness, lots going on. I'm doing well overall. What I've been up to? I've been trying to master this live streaming with Kim and how to multi-stream. And I'm just to give Kim the update. We are not multi-streaming. I was not given the option. There was no button. It's just when you
Oh,
went live, I came out of the studio with you, so we'll sort that out. But anyway, one of these
dang.
days, I hope to be live streaming on my own channel when we do this.
We'll have to walk through
It's
that.
weird, right? We had
It
really
is
played with it
weird.
ahead of time. If anybody has
Yeah,
any tips on that, let me know how to do it because I
I know. Yeah.
I have destination set up and it still didn't work.
Hmm. We'll
Anywho,
explore that. And also, two friends, because it's an ongoing series, I will be also visiting, if it's okay with Donna, Artists and
yeah,
Oracles, and
totally.
then she could, be in the driver's seat and lead the
And
live stream.
Lord help us all when I'm in the driver's seat. But yes, no, I'm going to give it a whirl next time.
Yeah,
Kim will
but
come over
it's
to my house and we'll play
yeah.
over there.
I'm gonna go hang out over at Joe House. That's right.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, if I know, like I've gone on with Ange, Ange, if you're out there, if
She's with us. She's here in the
yeah,
chat. Yeah.
so we're trying to get Donna set up so she can multi-stream to her channel, and I thought just setting up the destinations was enough, but I feel like we're missing a link, and
Yeah,
I
we'll
feel like
figure it. We'll
yeah,
figure
we'll
it.
figure it out. Hey, friends, hello,
Ah,
hello, Ange. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome. And we also have Christine. Welcome. Happy you are here. Up, Donna R in the house. Hi.
Donna R. Nice to see you
My
again.
Donnas. Yes, I'm
Madonna's.
happy you are here.
Well,
So we want to continue the conversation because there's still so much to talk about. As we are getting into it, there is the technical aspects of our rituals of reading for others, but there's also the protective self-care rituals we'll get into in just, in a bit as we move through the live. But I wanted to ask you, Donna, are
hmm.
you one of those who have a set number of overhand shuffles that you do before you lay out the cards, or you just shuffle until your intuition says stop? How do you handle shuffling of the cards? I'm going to pull a deck just to shuffle.
Yeah, oh, I'll grab my deck here. No, no set a number of shuffles. I'm not, as a general, almost very rarely do I cut the deck. I'm not a cut the deck kind of girl. I mostly overhand shuffle like this because a lot
Mhm.
of the new decks these days you can't really, you
Mm.
can't bridge them, unfortunately, especially the Oracle decks.
Yeah, I
This is
know.
one of my all-time favorite oracles. This is two oracles combined. This is our beloved Empathic Oracle, which I
Such a
know
good.
Kim knows and loves, and then the
Mm-hmm.
Shamanic Healing Oracle by the same creator. And they're
Mm-hmm.
almost the same size, not quite, but you know what? I put them all together in one big deck,
Mm-hmm.
and I use them like this.
Yeah, and it
I just use them
works.
together all the time. I've been doing that for over a year now, and I love
Okay.
it. I
I love
love working with
combining
them that
decks.
way.
Now, is that one of your working decks that you
This
go
is
to?
definitely a working deck for me and for clients, for, yeah, online work.
Nice.
So, but you can't, there's no way you're not going to be bridging it, right? So you just got to be able to.
Yeah.
overhand. And so I find when I'm just overhand shuffling like this, I can't have any kind of set, it's just, you just gotta feel it. You gotta feel your way. So that's what I do. And then
Yeah.
sometimes you drop them all over, and sometimes
That's
it's a drop and not really a jump, and you
Do
stuff
you
them
work
back
with
in and you keep
jumpers?
going. I do love to. I'm a jumper. Kim's a big jumper fan. I try for jumpers all the time,
Okay.
but don't always get them. So just have to feel my way. So that's how I
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. I think I'm the same way. When I sat down, so I was doing a few readings yesterday, and I was like, like preparation for our conversation today. I'm like, let me think about my ritual of just doing the reading itself for people. And I was like, no, I shuffle sometimes two overhand shuffles, a card, and let me back up. Pretty much anyone who's known me a while on my channel knows that I exclusively work with jumpers. And I know other readers who do. And then there's other readers who they may still, they will shuffle and then they'll take the card off the top, or they may cut the deck, as you mentioned, or they fan the cards out. That's, their process. And then they also work with jumpers. If a card jumps, that gives added emphasis. But I exclusively work with them, but I don't have a set number of overhand shuffles. It's just when my intuition says stop. And then
Mm.
sometimes I'll get one. I try if I get three or more cards, you know how sometimes cards will just kind of dump out.
Yep.
I will reshuffle. My intuition will usually say, no, you want a jumper. And I'll aim for one to two ideally. I'll allow for three. And then if it's more than that, three or more, I'm like, let me add them all back and reshuffle again. And I do that even with hotline work. I put it in my description that I am someone who works exclusively with jumpers, and to give me a little more time or have a little patience with my process because that's my reading style. What are some unique aspects to your reading style, you would say?
Unique aspects to my reading style. The number one thing is that I try to tell all my clients up front, especially when they're new with me, like that it's a co-creation. I really want people to understand that.
Mhm.
I'm not about like come to me and I do all the heavy lifting. I want it to be a conversation, and we use the cards, and the cards will give us information.
Right.
But the more I'm in conversation with you, it works better for me. I just know that I'm going to be able to read more clearly for you.
Yes. I
That's
so
just how I've been told to work with people.
Yeah.
And I love all different ways of how people read, and I like going to other people who, can just pull stuff, completely cold with knowing very little about you. I think it's
Mhm.
amazing.
I
I
do too.
love it.
I
It's
do
just,
too.
my guides are like, you're not going to read like that. That's not how you're going to work. And so that's unique, and it can be a little challenging for the clients to understand that because
Yeah.
they've heard about these other ways of doing it. So
That's a good point because a lot of times they come to us with preconceived notions, right? That we read a certain way or that we only use tarot or we're a psychic and we're all knowing and
and
we must know.
we all know astrology too,
Oh yeah, we know that too. Yeah. But it's like, no, we're not all just like we're all individuals in this world, so is the reader it's themselves. And I love that you have your unique style of how you work. And I think that's what I would emphasize with people is honor that uniqueness. You
Yeah.
may not feel called to do it a certain way. You may not be called to work a certain way, but that doesn't make it wrong. It makes it you. And I think when you're first starting out as a reader, sometimes it could be like, I know I'm taught to do it this way, but I feel like I should do it this way. We're giving you permission today to honor what feels right to you as you progress in your reading for others. Because
Hmm.
I think that's one of the things I got hung up probably the longest on. Not so much learning the card meanings with tarot, but it was like, am I doing this right? Is it
Oh
jiving with
yeah.
people? Does that make
I
sense?
still know. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So That's what I would say. And do you mostly use Oracle or Tarot or any other cartomancy system?
I'm I'm back more to using Oracle just because I've learned over the last year or two. I've when I've I've just and I've come in and out of the work, but in the last year or two, I'm doing a lot more pro readings than I was, and I've been finding my way. And I just finally said, you know what? I came to cards through Oracle. Like Oracle is sort of my home, my love, and so I've just gone back to letting myself do that, and I've found that it works really, really well.
I
And
love
the other thing I wanted to say when you're asking like what's unique to my reading style, you and I've talked about this before privately. Like I I'm a story weaver. Like I work best if you come to me, and that's why I want you to share. That's the whole co-creation thing. Give me a little bit of the story. What's the story? What's going on? Because I have this way of hearing your story, then I choose the right deck, and then I can weave in some part of my own story or somebody
Mhm,
I know who's been in a similar situation. And
mhm,
that and then the whatever cards, the cards will show up and it prompts a story.
mhm.
So I like to bring that, and I like to, I like to tell people, not everybody can kind of get like, what does that mean, your story? But I'm a story weaver. So if you like to weave stories,
Yeah,
then then we're off,
yeah.
we're off.
He-
So
I love the analogy of that, of weaving. If you think about a weave, right? You're weaving in, your divination methods, their story, the picturing of what's going on in your mind's eye or your intuition, whatever their question was, and it's all being woven together, and then it forms this beautiful tapestry,
yeah,
that lays before you once it's all done, right? I can visualize that. I love that.
yeah.
And
And that was given to me by one of my dear teacher, one of my
mhm,
ancient Irish shamanism teachers, who taught the whole basis of her teachings is that all of life is a weave, and that our job is to tune into the weave, find the little phrase, the pulls in the weave, and help to
mhm.
smooth them.
Yes.
And so
Ooh.
I've just brought that to my reading table, and I'm saying that I can do that with cards, and I can do
Mhm,
that with your story. You give me some of
mhm.
your story, I can give you some of my story back, and we can find the little
Like,
this, right? The
yeah,
cross point
yeah,
in the
like the
weave,
cross. Yeah, I
and
love
I can
that.
help you to smooth whatever the snag is.
Yeah.
But I can't
Ooh.
but I can't do that unless you give me the story. I can't
Yeah.
do that if you sit down and, say like, well,
Yeah.
just tell me what's the problem and, read my mind. Like, I could do it, but it'll take a lot, probably take a lot more of your time and money. So, like if you really want to get to work, tell me what's going on. That's how I
Yeah.
feel.
And
So,
that's why I think it's so important for us to be able to share our process, whether it's on our website in the description of what we offer, or if you are on the hotlines and you offer your descriptions, or if you are a reader on social media, because that way they know what it is that they're, coming into. When that I love your process. Like that resonates deeply with me. But some people want the wham bam thank you ma'am kind of reading where they're like, well, either A, they want you just to tell them what they, be a mind reader. And I'm not knocking people who can do this. I think that's amazing. But or they're like, they have their question and they have a specific answer in mind. And so it gets a little tricky. But when we stay true to ourselves, that's where the magic lies. That's where the magic unlocks, if you will, right? And
yeah,
so,
totally.
and your
Totally,
clients will
totally.
find you, the ones who are meant to work with you and your particular style of reading will find you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm questions based, meaning that I learned early on, and it's the nature of who I am as a person. I've got an investigative mind, so questions and like a scientific approach to it. What is the hypothesis or what is the question and how you get the answers? I've always been questions based. So yes, I could do a general reading, like you said. We could sit down and I could throw some cards and say, okay, this is what spirit is wanting to share with you, but I my spirit lights up when I can take some Aquarian's issue, like they say they were trying to get a new job, and I break it down into questions that we're going to pose
Mm.
together in the reading. And that makes my heart sing. Is it always in the most ideal setting? No, I can't always do that. I don't, not everyone has time for me to bust down some questions for their situation, but that's what my heart sings when I'm doing readings. And everybody has that in them of what makes their heart sing in offering readings for others. It's
Mm.
interesting to see
So
what
true.
people are saying.
So
It's
true.
like, let's see, Donna says a couple of years ago, I changed my shuffling style to choose jumpers or cards that catch my attention while shuffling, and it made my reading so much better. Oh, yes, Donna. When I was a baby reader, and I remember like, I remember shuffling and doing the whole thing of doing the readings, and I would pick the card like this and lay it on the table. And it didn't like the reading didn't feel right or complete. I don't know how else to say
Mm.
it, but one day I was shuffling and the cards were jumping, and I looked at the cards. I'm like, oh my god, this is speaking to exactly what I asked about or thinking about. And every single time it happened, but every time I would like resist what I was called to do in my reading process, the reading felt flat. If that makes any sense, it felt
Yep.
flat, you know? And so, yeah, and so Donna says, I still enjoy riffling a little bit with decks that are thin and flexible, but it's not necessary to my process exactly. And with
I
those
love a
hard,
good riffle.
me
I wish
too.
I could riffle all my decks because I love to riffle. Yeah.
I love a riffle shuffle.
Yeah.
I learned
Come
as a
on,
babe.
show us, Kim. You got that nice new deck there. Show us how
Oh,
that riffles.
this is a good,
Is
let
this
me
your new
see.
love? It's
Yeah,
your
it's a
new love,
new
right?
love that, yeah, it's a new love, this one.
Let's see what
I
one
ordered
this
the
is.
guidebook because Beth Asparia Rising, show you all this, from the Magical Nature Tarot, the creator just came out with a book, a paperback. So I ordered it on Etsy.
Mm.
So I'm excited because, I don't always order the book, but I felt called to order the book because I want to see the artist's process. But
Fun.
yeah,
Very fun.
sorry,
Yeah.
y'all missed out on that riffle. But I love riffling. I learned how to riffle shuffle with playing cards. My parents would have parties back in
Yeah.
the day, and we, playing cards or, playing spades and things. And so I would watch them. Maybe that's where my love of like shuffling cards came from. I
I think
watched
for me
them.
too. I think
Hmm.
I learned how to riffle on an Uno deck.
Oh, yes. Una.
I used to be the queen of Uno in my house.
Yeah.
I I still love
And it's
Uno. I'll play
chunky.
Uno with anybody who wants to play Uno.
Yeah, Uno is
Yeah.
chunky too. It's like it's got like all the different
A
suits,
little
if you
chunky.
will. Yeah,
Yeah.
Uno's a good one. It's fun too. So yeah, that is not necessary, and I agree with you. And also now with like independent decks or even mass market, some of them are kind of thick. So it's difficult to ripple shuffle. But if I can overhand shuffle, it's not too large or like a big deck in my hand. I can handle it. I can make it work. I can make it work with postcards. Okay, we can make it
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And Root and Ange, Roots and Waves says, I'm a word weaver. Oh, yes.
Cool, Ange. Oh, you and I should have a little chat then.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's pretty close to how I
Your
work. That's
story.
neat.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Word weaver, story weaver. That's the writer in me that just excites me, and again, every client is going to be so blessed because there's so many of us to choose from that they can resonate with. They don't have to just go to one or two people that don't resonate with them. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, so
Very fun.
that's what I would say. Let me sir. I think so. In terms of like you interpreting the cards, do you look at like the entirety of the card messages in terms of, or do you like isolate your cards? So, for example, let's say you have a reading and your style is story weaver, right? and you have the different cards on the table. Are you looking at them uniquely in their own little card, or are you looking at the tapestry? Are you looking at the entirety, or both? How do the cards inform your readings typically in your reading process?
Okay, so typically I would say it's both. It's both.
Okay.
And usually what I try to do, like I have 5 cards in front of me that I pulled for a couple hours ago specifically for our card, for
And
this
we want you to share them
live,
too.
which we're going to
Okay.
share. And um and so typically what I did, I pull, and I don't have normally a set number or a set spread that I use, although I love 3 card. I mean, like a lot of people, a lot of readers, we love our 3 card spread because in my opinion, you can really usually get everything you need in 3 cards.
True.
But I have 5 cards in front of me. And then normally what I do is I just go card by card. And I try to take my first couple of hits that I get from the card. I try to just look at the card, even if I know the deck or I have like a spread in mind that, oh, this is
Mm-hmm.
past, present, future, or whatever. I just tune into the card and I try to
Mm-hmm.
listen clairaudiently. What am I hearing when I first see the
Nice.
card and kind of take note of that. So then I go through the cards and usually I'm shuffling and drawing. And at some point I get okay, stop, that's enough. No more cards. And then I've
Yeah.
gone through all 5 cards. Then I step back and then I look at the whole story of what's in front of me and I try to put that all together.
Okay.
And I often pay a lot of attention to the first card that comes out. Like this reading that I have in front of me, the first card, this was a jumper. The first card that came out was forgiveness. And this particularly got my attention because this card was just out of the deck yesterday when I was using it. I think it's been out like a couple of times in the last week or so. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
so when that happens, I know to be like, okay, I'm gonna pay attention because you keep
Mm-hmm.
you keep coming out.
Mm-hmm. Forgive me.
And 2 of the other cards that came back out were just out from yesterday too. And I shuffled the deck as well. It's completely shuffled the deck. I was shuffling it for several minutes. And it's this big chunk among here, 2 decks put together.
Mm-hmm.
And so 3 cards came right back out again. I was like, okay.
Oh,
Okay, you have my attention, teacher. I was like,
yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my general process of how I tune in. How about you?
I would say that yes. So because I'm questions based, and then I guess that brings up like some people ask me often, do I use spreads? I mean, the spread for me is the question prompt. So I will look at the cards that jump for each question, and I do pay attention to the very first card, whether it's a tarot card or oracle card. I use both systems, and I combine them, and I look at them for each question, but I also look at how the cards for each question informs the other questions, if that makes sense. Where if let's say we now have asked 4 questions so far, and I'll see, oh, this question kind of ties into question number 3, and these cards are kind of talking to these cards over here. And I don't just, they're not like little islands of themselves. Yes, in a way they are on an island,
Mm.
but they also are diplomatic ambassadors to other islands. So
They're on
they
assignment.
they're on assignment. They come over for a little bit with their insights and wisdom and sharing, and then they may go back to wherever they came from. So that's how I like to look at it, is that they're not in and by themselves. They can be sometimes, but most times I love how the cards can inform other questions or other answers to questions. And I too pay attention to cards that come up. Now, because I do jumpers, sometimes I'll shuffle the deck and something will fall out. And I'm like, that intuitively didn't feel like I should read that. But I'll shuffle the deck again. This happened last night. And the same card came out. And I would shuffle it really good. I'm like, oh no, you really wanted me to see this card. Okay, I'll share it
Yeah.
with or it could be the energy of that card. So if like they're saying, are we ever going to see each other again? And I'm like, and the card kind of flops, like a Ten of Swords flops or something. Like, I'm like, let me reshuffle just to be sure. And then the Tower comes out. So a general tenor of like, or a tone of
Mhm.
no.
No, not looking good.
And
Yeah.
I take that as a sign, like for me and the querent, no, not anytime soon, my love. It's not
Mm-hmm.
happening anytime soon. And
Yeah.
so that, yeah, that's how I would say that,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, let me see.
We've got a whole
Uh,
bunch of people that just joined us, I think.
yes, hello. Hi, Soul Whisperer, Althea Grace. Welcome, welcome. Hello. And then we have Auntie Case Terrell. Hey, Krista, thank you for being here. Donna says, since I love pairing Oracle and Tarot, I like to pull an Oracle for the main theme and then pull Tarot cards to fill in the details. And I love doing that
Mm.
too. I think that's a nice thing. Sometimes if you don't know, I'm gonna close my window. If you don't know where to go with a reading, it's nice to be able to use Oracle or you can use Tarot too for that purpose. And it kind of helps direct the reading. And it can give you the main theme, if you will, of the reading itself. Even if you have a specific question, it can give you that tone of the direction of the general tone of where this reading is going. And I love pairing them together. It's like
Yeah, you're the
peanut
queen of
butter and
that.
jelly.
Kim
Yeah,
is the Kim
yeah,
is the queen of paired Oracle Tarot readings. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Warms my heart. Oh, look at it. Hi, friend. Majestic Oracles in the house. All these fabulous channels joining us. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. So yeah, so um, just as yeah, I would say that's pretty much my process, and I enjoy it. I haven't. I think that's been a consistent theme. Is my questions based, shuffling cards, seeing what tarot and oracle cards. I usually lay out the tarot first, then the oracle, then we go from there, question
That's
by
what I
question.
do. I tend to do, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to mix them,
Mm-hmm.
I go in with tarot. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
like show me the overall or the big issue, and then I break it down with Oracle. I found, but I should play with doing it the other way too. I don't know why. I just
Yeah.
that's how I've always done it. So yeah.
And sometimes I just I'll go ahead and do Oracle. And sometimes I just do only Oracle. There are a few times where I only pull a couple of tarot cards, and that's all I need for a clearance question. Even if we're on the phone for a long while or we're doing a bigger reading, sometimes I don't need a whole big old spread of cards. Other times I only pull Oracle. I listen to my intuition, you
Mhm.
know? I think that's the key, listening to your intuition.
Yeah.
And Auntie Kay says, when I do general readings, I use Oracle to start off. It's like, yeah, it's like, give me, direct me, your Oracle.
Mm, that's
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
yeah. So in terms of like, do you tell the story, since you're a story weaver, do you lay it out or do you answer the person's question first and then kind of tell the story? What's your process with that?
Yeah, it totally depends. Because I'm weaving, I'm also weaving my energy with their energy. And so it works best for me if I can see you, whether you're on a screen in front of me or whether we're sitting together. And I'm taking my cues. I'm feeling my way with the client, you know.
Mhm.
Um, if they need me to talk more or they're not sure or they're asking a lot of questions, then I answer their questions.
Yeah,
But sometimes, you turn over one card, you say one little thing, and they're like, oh my gosh. And then they give you a whole bunch more information. So then
true.
I listen and receive. And then I incorporate that into the rest of the cards that I've already pulled that I thought
Hmm.
it unfolds. I was like, oh, I thought
Hmm.
I knew what this was, but now they've shown me even more. So then I'll
Hmm.
go, if they go in a different direction, then we'll try going over there. Unless I have a very strong, I'm sitting with this one card and I'm like, yeah, but no, like sometimes a card will just scream at you, like I'm it. Like I'm holding this is the truth card. I'm holding the truth card right now.
Look
Like
at
this
that.
is this card is so interesting in my little pull of where I want to get to with us today. Like
Yeah.
bald eagle, right?
Yo.
bald eagle.
What a symbol.
So the first thing I thought of when I pulled this card, I don't know if people heard this, but I just heard the news story the other day, and I'm a big bird woman. I love birds. I'm always, paying attention.
Oh
I'm a
yeah,
bird
you are.
watcher. Since
Yeah.
I was 4 years old, at my grandpa's knee, I was trained to be a bird watcher. So the United States of America, just on December 24th, officially made the bald eagle our the bird of our country, our official. I wrote down the
It's
exact wording.
official.
Official U.S. bird. It was
So
never
it was
official.
always it was unofficial before. It was
It was
just
unofficial. I didn't even know that,
I didn't know that
right?
either. That's a
So
fun fact.
here's the bald eagle.
Oh,
So anyway,
true.
that spoke loudly to me because I had the question I had asked it was let's see, I didn't write it down, but I was asking, I wanted one of the things I wanted us to talk about today is just the times. I wanted to
Yeah.
sort of tune into like what's the vibe of the times right now? How do we best help
Mm-hmm.
as card readers? How do we best help people right now when there's so much like
True.
politics is on everybody's mind? Even if you don't like politics and you say you don't like, it's sort of like you can't tune it out right now because of the state of the
Right.
world.
That's
Especially here in
right.
North America, we got inauguration 4 days, very big thing. um, I'm just
Yeah.
talking general. You behave
Yeah.
yourself there,
Okay.
Kim. I'm trying to be,
Well, yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna,
no, yeah. And then, for the first time in like my lifetime, I can remember, the US and Canada are at odds. The whole
yeah,
thing went down between our president-elect and the prime minister of Canada here, and now all the premiers of the provinces are upset. And so it's like in the air everywhere, it's in the water. So to me, I was asking like, how can I best, like serve the client, and how can we best talk about this, like,
yeah.
as
When it
readers,
comes up, yeah,
because like it's so cool.
perfected.
I'm totally wrapped up in. There's lots of readers on YouTube right now doing all kinds of political reading and following actual news stories, and then asking for psychic guidance, card guidance, speculating. I'm not even like I don't even want to go there, and I'm watching that. I'm not. There's no judgment because I'm caught up in it too. But for today,
Hmm.
for our conversation, I just wanted to talk about how do we navigate that as readers when somebody comes to our table and they may be brand new and we have no idea
Yeah,
who they are, what their beliefs are. But I just have this
what they're
sense of
going through.
what they're
Yeah.
going through. But
Hmm.
I just have this strong, like my guidance just keeps saying to me, like, it's affecting everybody and we have to like bring that to the table with us. We have to be mindful of that. We have to be even more careful with our own self-care as sensitives,
Yeah,
empaths, readers, and
yeah,
and that we have to, be even more gentle and healing, and from this place of forgiveness. I got forgiveness, and I also got this card, healing energy,
nice.
right? Like that's just what it's all about right now,
Yeah,
because everybody's mad at somebody, this country, that, this leader, like
everybody wants to pick a side, and
we're all picking side, we're picking
yeah,
at
they
each
can build a
other.
lot of evidence about the other
Yes.
side. We could do that all day, but we're, when clients are coming to, and they're in the world just like we are too. At the end of the day, they're coming to us because they may need healing, they may need an answer, they may just need peace. They just, and so I have to check in with myself because I'm one of those people that can get caught up in watching politics and watching the news and getting all caught up in all the fields. But then when I'm at the reading table, it's me and the client. And
Right.
sometimes, the catastrophes that affect them, that they go through, the political climate, a woman who's having to travel to another state line to, this is not getting political. I don't, I'm not going to share all that, but, having to get an abortion and having to grapple with, all sorts of things that that are happening at the political level that brings it down into their everyday life. And we are having, having to hold space for them. But we too are human. So how do we navigate that? And like you said, the key thing is self-care for us as
Yeah.
healers, as readers, as empaths, is self-care and prioritizing that and not skimping on that because people are bringing real big deal issues. And I don't really
Real
do,
big deal.
I don't really do political readings on my channel. People ask me, especially during elections, oh, what do you think? I'm like, that's not where I'm ready to go. Privately, I
Mm-hmm.
might throw cards with my girls and we'll do it together, but I want people to
Yeah.
know that they can come to me as a respite, as a place of sanctuary. Truth.
Mm-hmm.
I love your bald eagle card. Truth and healing. Truth. Look at that bald eagle right
There's
there.
that bald eagle right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We're going to get more into that too, because I think there's the ritual of self-care as a reader who reads for others, whether you're a professional reader, you know what I mean by professional. You're offering services, you're getting paid
Mm-hmm.
for those services, or you're doing it like in an unofficial capacity, but you're still reading for others. You still have to abide by some self-care nurturing for yourself, in my opinion. So yeah, so we're gonna
I
get
love,
into mm-hmm,
yeah. So we've had a bunch of comments here.
mm-hmm. Let me
Donna's
see.
comment about she's still trying to get her reading mojo back
Oh, let me go
that I
back
that I
here.
lost on election day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the a lot has happened.
Yeah. It's been, I mean,
2024 to 2025. And
just a couple of months, a lot has happened.
yeah, and a lot to come, friends. But
A
look
lot
what
to
we're
come.
doing. Okay. So I was watching, I've been on this crazy kick of watching 90 Day Fiance. If y'all know, y'all know. But I'm at a season where they're during the pandemic. And I thought to myself last night, I said, look at us. Not just me and you, Donna, but look at us still standing despite all the naysayers, we're going to die, like, and then when you think back to many other things that have happened in our lifetime, I said, look at us, still, supporting each other, still being there for one another, still showing up, even when we're hurting sometimes, even as healers, wounded healer, right? You could be a
Yeah.
wounded healer. And I just marvel at that. I was just like, wow, we really did that. We survived. And look at that. Let me see it. I'm
Yeah.
like all lost in my. Okay, so here we go. And Lisa, where are you? There you are, Lisa Davies. Thank you for joining us, friend. And Donna says, if I want a super in-depth reading, I combine a line of five tarot with a line of five Lenormand. I love that. I
Mm.
love
Oh, cool.
systems crossing over. I like to intermingle. One day we'll have to all do that. It'll be a fun
Yeah.
assignment for us to play around with Lenormand. Maybe we'll do it for Reading Lab for Poised to Leap or something. It's
Yeah,
just
that'd be fun.
combined. So Donna says, I heard about that, and I also had none of the bald eagle was the unofficial bird. I didn't either.
I'm like, what do you mean it's not? It's on the back of the $1 bill, right? Like, yeah.
The
So,
things that I still don't know about my country, like
I
that would
know
be what
exactly.
no. And majestic oracle, my friend. Thanks for addressing politics in such a calm manner. Yeah, it's like I know the sky is falling, we get it, but at the end of the day, is the sky falling? But if you look at through history and you look at not just in the last 100 years, I'm talking about history through hundreds of years, we still somehow overcome. And we have to remember our power. You can't give away your power, friends. And our power is in our spirituality and in the knowing of where our power lies and what is ours to do. Okay. Don't, yes, the sky is falling, I suppose. Yes, the fires are going. Oh my God. But let's be
Mm-hmm.
easy. I am so tired of the panic community running to psychics freaking out. Oh yeah, I get them in my inbox. Can you do a reading on this? Can you do a reading on that? Sometimes in my comments, but oftentimes they'll email me or DM me, and I'm like, barely holding on like you. Yes, I'm a reader, but God, I'm doing the
That
best.
that's such a valid, I mean, you did it like a joke, but that's a really valid point. That's a lot of what we want to talk about, right? Like when you're barely
Hmm.
holding on and you got people coming to you saying, Tell me what you see, predict the future," just, you know, forgiveness, just start right there, just assess where you are. This is what I would offer. This is what I would
Hmm.
recommend to us as readers, or, whatever. Again, even if you're just interested in cards, you're not reading for others, you know, just start with your own self-care. Start by, assessing your day. What do you need to do for the day? How are you feeling? For me, it's all about how well did I sleep the night before?
Yes, for sure.
I've had sleep challenges for several years. So I have to wake up and see, okay, how's my body feeling?
Yeah.
How clear is my mind? And
Hmm.
then if I have to revise a little bit my day, I revise it as
Yes,
much as
yes,
I can, you know, and I
right.
have to forgive myself for that. That's
Oh,
just who I am right now. This is the stage of life that I'm at. I have to take care of this body.
yeah.
And I really recommend that we all do that, especially I'm just keep getting so loud and clear in the next several days to a couple of weeks here. If things do get very intense, which with this comment in front of me, I really welcome your comment, but things may get very intense, is
Yeah,
what it's feeling like to me. I hope and pray that I'm wrong.
right.
And so Kim was talking about where our power lies. Our power lies, always will lie, we have to stay calm.
Yes,
Even if things really start spinning out of control and nobody really knows what's going on and all these things, like you got
yeah,
to just find your own sense of calm. Do whatever
exactly.
you need to do to calm. Pay attention to your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you know how to do that? I know well how to do that now, and I had
Yeah,
to learn the very hard way how to do that.
yeah, me
Are you
too.
ventilating? Is your breath up here in the top of your chest, and your breath is so shallow that like you're giving
Mm-hmm.
yourself a headache?
Mm-hmm.
That's a danger sign. You want to calm the fuck down right away.
Right
And if
away.
you right away just
You go
stop
sit
and
out.
do what you go sit down if that
'Cause
happens,
that's
because
my
you
dad
need
would say, go somewhere and sit out. Yes.
and breathe and put your hands on your belly
Yeah. And
and breathe
breathe.
deep and
I
calm
think
down.
about when I of all of my births, I had four births, all C-section. But the first one I went through labor, like 14 hours of labor, and then it was a C-section that I had to have. But I remember I went to Lamaze classes. I did all the things, you know, how to breathe. All that went out the window. Once that pain hit and the fear, I couldn't breathe. They were like, "You are not breathing." I've literally everything was restricted. Every time a contraction would come, I'm just like, oh. And that's
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like with us, when anything comes down the news line or anything coming out, oh no, you have to breathe and relax through it, you know? Because what else are you gonna do? Yeah, you could go ahead. It's the sky is falling, fire, fire, fire. But we need rational hearts and minds, and we need you to be well, whether you're a reader or not. We need you to be well because
Yeah.
all you're going to do is send yourself into a tizzy. And I'm naturally an anxiety filled kind of person. I've been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. So I understand when I'm starting to get that to that place. But I just remember they're like, you're not breathing. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, look, we can show you. Like with the oxygen level, I have a little picture, like literally holding my breath. And like, it just, ooh. So I just, tell people you have to honor yourself. The other night, I was like, I'm not in any head or heart space to give any readings tonight. And so I'm just going to take the night off. I'm going to soak my feet with some Epsom salt and I'm going to chill and I'm going to watch 90 Day Fiance reruns. That's what I'm going to do tonight because I need to decompress, disconnect, so I can come back to the reading table energized the next day and ready to be a loving vessel, to give to others. But
Mm-hmm.
if I'm trying to give from a depleted place, I can't do that. And so my ritual self care is pretty simple. I just need to disconnect from the outside noise,
Mm.
And so we'll get into that too. Donna, like you said, this is the comment you were mentioning. Donna R says,
Yeah.
still trying to get my reading mojo back that I lost on election day. I wish I could hug you, friend. I don't even read professionally for others, just my personal practice. And this is a good point. Sometimes things happen. A friend of mine who is a reader had a death of a parent. You know, it's gonna take some time. You are a human being. You are
Right.
grieving. You experience loss. We go through challenges. We go through stresses of finances from time to time. I fell and had a wound in my leg, and it made me feel very human and very small. And I didn't feel very great to offer readings for myself, let alone, readings for others. So you have to give, like
Mm.
you said, forgiveness with that card. Give yourself grace, the same grace and forgiveness you give to others. Make sure you prioritize that and give it to yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I gotta say on that. Ange says, I'm back, had to step away for a minute. Hey, friend, how about that for you? So you read for others, right, from time to time.
Hmm.
Do you get signals in your body? Like what? Let me take this. Do you get signals, and do
Oh
you
yeah.
that ritual that brings you back to one, brings you back to self, brings you back to balance? Do you have that?
Signals in my body when we're talking about like self-care, like getting a little too keyed up, all that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get a whole bunch. I get a whole bunch of them. So
Mm-hmm.
breath is key. I can get a little lightheaded. Um, I get this little like shaky feeling in my upper chest or my muscle in this arm will kick in. I have these signs that my body's taught me over the last like 5, 6, 7 years
Mm-hmm.
of you're too ramped up. You got to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
You got to calm down. And if it takes too long to wind down for sleep, then I realize like, oh yeah, no, I was like
Uh-huh.
going, whatever, then I just sort of assess, okay, what was going on today? How did I get myself in this situation? Okay, I gotta stop. Tomorrow's got to be different, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get keyed up. I've noticed too lately, my sleep patterns have been a little off. I think it's because energetically with everything that's going on, and I got to be more disciplined about not falling asleep to scrolling through the feeds.
Well, I can't even speak to that. I do too. I'm so off the bandwagon with that right now. I'm like literally watching a certain wonderful person's live right now, Jennifer Lisa Best, saving my life. But
I
yeah,
heard.
no, for sure. But last
Yeah.
night I felt after that I put on, there's a great channel that comes on with like a sound bath,
Nice.
and I put that on, and oh my gosh, and I just dozed off with that, then woke up a little bit later, took the earphones off, got comfortable, and
Mhm.
slept for the night and slept 6 hours straight, which is good for me. So
Nice. Okay.
yeah. So,
Okay.
a lot of us right now, so there's my little confession. Like, I got some habits right now that, like, I hope to let go of in the,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know, a couple weeks from now, if things calm down. I gotta, like, get myself off of that horse. But sometimes we do things temporarily. We know they're not a great idea. And even
True.
if you know,
Yeah.
right? Just like eating a little more chocolate certain times a month, like some of us did for many, many years. And then
Yeah.
like, okay, now I'm in the good weeks, so I gotta cut it back.
Right.
You save the extra chocolate for the cranky weeks where you need it more.
You're right.
But
For me, it's salt. Oh my God. Oh, salt. Yeah. Chocolate and salt. And you're right.
yeah,
Give yourself a little cheat day, as they say when people are dieting or what have you. Give
yeah,
sometimes you just kind of indulge. A little scrolling, but understand that there could be consequences, especially if you're reading for others, that you gotta take care of yourself. Like last night, I could feel myself getting a little keyed up, and I said, "What brings me nurturing and peace?" I was doing a reading, and I paused that reading. It was a video recorded reading, so it's easy to pause. If the person's not on there, they're going to get a video once I'm done, and I do a little written summary and send it to them. But I said, my lemon and ginger tea
Mm.
There just made me some tea and it just calmed my little self down. It's what I used to drink when I lived in the States and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sometimes sleep for no more than about 4 hours a night.
Mm.
And the one thing that would bring me from the brink of just having a full-on panic attack was my tea. So I just go back to like some take take some tea down or take a
Wow.
bath or shower. And I like to take a bath or shower in the dark. It's kind of weird, but I don't know.
Ooh. Oh,
I
that
don't know
sounds
what it
nice.
is. It's like I'm in a wound.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
very
what it
womb-like.
is.
I am a big fan of the bathtub, of the Epsom
Yeah.
salts bath with some
Yep.
essential oils. And so
Hmm.
I've gone back to that. Even just this past week, I've made a point to take, a couple that, but I like to get in there with like a book or something. And
Yeah,
this week I
that's
was like,
nice too.
no book for you. No, no, because, air sign. Kim and I are both air signs. We understand
Yes.
like, I have constant, like my brain just likes to go, go, go. I'm air,
Yeah.
sun and moon. So I gotta
That's annoying.
quiet it down from time to
Yeah,
time. I just have to know when like the winds of air element are whipping around me too much.
that's true. They're stirring up, they're getting, and then they're going.
They're
And so I
going.
have I have to do some self-soothing. And it's because I need it for myself first and foremost. I need it for my family and I need it for the people I want
Yeah,
to be there for, like my clients and my members and my subscribers and
yeah,
anyone comes in contact with me. I want to show up as my best, healthiest self possible. Now, is that sometimes I can still be like hurt or wounded or scared, but if I'm doing these self-care measures on a consistent basis with a ritual, if you will,
yeah.
ritual reading for
Right,
others,
right.
then that makes sure that it ensures that I'm not just going off the deep end. Because, like you said, being an air sign, sometimes we could
Yeah,
just our brains could go somewhere, and it's like point of no return, right?
we're prone to it. We just have to know that. We all have certain propensities for things. So that's what I love
Mhm.
about astrology.
Me
That
too.
know your wiring.
I love this. I love consulting with astrologers too. Like I have to have them on deck, numerologists, I like to have all the specialties on deck because I'm not a specialist in those areas. Cartomancy, yes, but I will
Same.
consult an astrologer.
Same. I know a
Yeah.
little I tell people I know just enough astrology to be dangerous. That's what I
I
like
know.
to say about my astrological. Just enough to be dangerous. But I love it and I'm fascinated by it and I'm always listening to astrology videos and podcasts
Hmm.
and trying to figure out, okay, what does that mean for what's going on with the politics and the this and that.
Yes. It's kind of
But
interesting.
I'm not anybody's astrologer and may
Mm-mm.
not be, no plans for that in this life. Although you
Yeah.
never know, maybe in my 60s I'll take up astrology. But
Yeah.
right now, like Kim, I like to have my astrologers on deck to really help
Yeah.
me when I need, a reading. So,
Yeah. For sure. I love this
okay, we
majestic
got
art.
tons of comments here. Let's see
I
what's going on.
see. Look at that. So we got resilient regardless. Yes, absolutely. Resilient regardless. Yeah. I mean, what are we like just gonna fold? No, we are resilient. Think
Mm,
about our ancestors. Did our ancestors fold?
word. I've been
So
tuning into my ancestors a lot lately, and
yeah,
it's so helped me. And I,
for
I
sure.
think just,
Me
yeah,
too.
we need that more. I don't know, especially here in North America. I don't know. I mean, I'm totally generalizing, but like, we're not
Yeah,
as connected to our ancestors as a lot of the other parts of the world. Like,
right.
our ancestors went through a lot, no matter, what
Yeah.
culture you originally came from, what continent, whatever. Like, I come from some hardy stock.
Yeah.
My father was a World War II veteran who served in the
Hmm.
Battle of the Bulge overseas. And so from
Wow.
time to time, I just sit my ass down and I tell myself that. I remind myself of that.
You're here because of their resilience.
Yeah.
We are here, we are physical representations because of our ancestors' resilience. So, and I would like to think that as we move forward in due time, the continuum of time, people could say the same about us down the line. Wow, we were, let's not forget our
Yeah.
power,
Let
friends.
us
Please
not
don't.
forget.
That's what they want. They want
Right.
us to forget that we are a unified voice and a force to be reckoned with. Do
Yeah.
not give your power up. Okay. I'm
I agree.
saying to all
And
of us.
no matter what your theories are of, who's on the bad side and who's on the wrong side, whatever's going on, one thing that is clear for me, the other thing they want to divide and conquer us. They
Yep.
want to turn our
Separate.
differences and get us to turn on each other. So
Yeah.
if you really want to resist, if you really
Hmm.
like, just reach out to somebody that you think like, oh God, that person. No,
Look at this
just
Five
to
of
be,
Wands. They want
yeah,
us to be bickering and fighting and
yeah.
conflict and all the things. Amen. We
Mm-mm.
can show up differently. We owe it to ourselves to show up differently.
Yeah.
So I get a little bit on my soapbox, but I won't.
Me too. Me too.
and,
Okay. We're
and
only not
says,
gonna because we got all these great people commenting here. We're gonna
yeah,
answer our comments, but yeah, totally.
yeah. And says globally there's a lot going on. Most are so hyper focused on what's been who's I said what? Who who's been elected when we really should be focused elsewhere. Be aware, pay attention, and don't be distracted. My opinion too, Ange. That's
Word,
right.
Ange.
Word to your
Word.
mother. Donna is right. You can't pour from an empty pitcher. That's right, soul whisperer. We cannot, and nor should we.
No,
We
don't
want
even try it. I don't
to,
recommend it. I've tried it.
yeah,
I don't
it,
recommend it.
laid up sick, like when I poured from an empty pitcher, and regretful afterwards,
Yeah.
sorrowful over it when I do that, because it's like you get signs, just like the signs we talked about that, we said earlier. You'll get signs from your body, you'll get signs, if you're blessed and you're connected and intuitive, you'll get signs when it's time to take a step
Right.
back. Listen,
Yes.
listen. Okay, Ange says, my sleep patterns are thrown off right now too. Yikes, right? I mean, mine's are too. And I'm like, I'm waking up, it's
Yeah.
broken. And I try to still get enough hours of sleep to function and be all right. But I did notice it in the last few days. And I'm like, okay, what can I
Hmm.
do to mitigate it? Can I get rid of all of the sleep issues? Maybe not, but I can mitigate them. I can drink my little sleepy time tea.
Can I just say, I want to say one more thing to that, what Ange is saying about, sleep patterns
Hmm.
thrown off. And you probably know this, you're probably aware, but there are a lot of women right now that that's happening for. And they're starting to come together and they're calling themselves the dreaming women and we're waking up at odd hours of the night and we're having intense dreams. So pay attention to your dreams, and
Yes.
just know you're not alone. Like again, forget there's no need to be beating yourself up over that. Like it's hard for many sensitives to sleep right now,
Hmm.
and there's all kinds of theories and explanations for why that might be, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. We're
That's true.
Kim and I, though, back to our topic and stuff today, is just to encourage people like, let's not get too out of hand, right? Let's just go back.
Hmm.
This is like self-care basics 101 for
Hmm.
cartomancy people. What are you getting, Kim?
Ten of Cups. I don't even know if I can show it like properly. Will
Oh, what
they
a
let me show
beautiful
it?
card. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you just get back to the truth of the matter, right? It's just
Yeah.
ah heart centered. Ah, sound Donna R says sound bath and also channels where they read stories help me. Oh, I love that. I need to get back into the like story time, adult story times. And I also listen to Native American flute, the flute music,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that just helps instantly calm me down. Or even just listening to wind chimes. I need to get some wind chimes. Some people find that very like, like it's too much stimuli, but for me, it's just, it's a
Yeah.
nice way of calming down.
I like nature sounds or
Nice.
ocean sounds. I've got a whole, whatever you call it, like a folder in my YouTube
Mm-hmm.
of, it's called
Mm-hmm.
sleep music. I got my sleep
Yes.
music and then my tried and true ones. And then if it's a really bad night, I go in there and I'll be like, okay, do I need whales or frogs or owls
Well,
hooting in the forest or like, what do I need?
I
What do
think
I
I like the
need?
sound of fire
Sound bath.
crackling. Yeah. Yeah. Sound baths. Yeah. Oh, I
Hmm.
like that.
Make
Playlist
some
too.
Make some recommends in the chat, you guys, for like what channels do you like to help you to sleep with? Because I'd be curious
Hmm.
what other people like.
Yes. Let's see. Let me see. Donna says sound bath and also channels where they read stories. And then Majestic Oracle says, Angie, yes, my sleep is
That's awkward.
backwards.
Yep.
Yes, I get it. Donna R. I also crave salt, Kim. Not much of a sweet tooth, but the salty, crunchy snack. Oh my gosh.
I'm
Yeah.
turning into that. I used to always be chocolate, 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 and now since age 50, it's like, yeah, give me the chips. Oh, you gotta give me
Yeah. I could
the
tear up some Lay's potato chips right about now. I'm just gonna say.
mm,
It's just and they don't taste quite the same out here as they do in the States. I don't know what that's about. Maybe they're healthier here. I don't know. But they're Lay's. They're the same company, but they just taste differently. And
huh?
same with Doritos. They don't taste the same as
Oh
the
yeah,
ones in the States.
maybe less stuff in them.
And I'm a night out too, Ange. And that's the other thing that I sometimes just like, okay, I have to honor that part of myself. That's part of me as well as a reader. Like last night, I was up until like 3 in the morning doing that
Oh,
video reading because I had to pause, of course, to make my sleep tea. But it's quiet. There's so much
mm,
construction during the day. There's motorcycles. There's people talking, music playing. And so when I'm doing readings at night, all we can hear is crickets or the frogs. And
yeah,
my mom was a night person. She worked nights for as long as I can remember as a young person. And so I think that rubbed off on me. I'm a night person too, but we live in a daytime world.
right.
Yes, yes, yes. I listen to sound too. What kind of stories? That's new to me. There's all kinds of stories. There's, like adult fairy tale stories, and then there's like somebody just reading a novel, and then there's naughty stories. There's all sorts, from what I understand.
Ah, I'll have to get
Yeah.
searching on that. I've never done that. I've never done that either to fall asleep to.
And I'm going to try it again tonight. I know, Andrew, I wish more culture centered to that late start lifestyle, a night owl schedule. I do too. I feel like they try to tell us, oh, the early bird catches the worm. And yeah, there is some truth to that in certain
Mm,
places in the world. Yeah, it does. But it's not for everybody. And we've got to stop. It's just like with the introvert extrovert, like, oh, we live in an extrovert world. Well, who said? Right?
right.
But that brings us back to who are we as readers? When I was a full time worker and then I had my reading business on the side, the only time I could get my readings done were in the middle of the night. And that was what it was. And it stuck. And I don't apologize for it. I'm a night owl. Truth be told, so. Oh, at Christmas time, I found an English guy who read A Christmas Carol with fireplace sounds in the background. He also has a fairy tale video with a fireplace. I might have to make a separate channel. I might want to read stories for people. That sounds
Ooh,
that sounds
ah,
divine.
ooh,
Maybe I'll read guidebooks, tarot.
oh, cool. I love reading for people. You know, the theater
Guides.
person in me and the story person in me.
Yes,
Ooh, that could be so fun to
it
read
could
for
be so
people.
fun. Donna
Mm.
says I'm picky about the tone of the person's voice because some I find irritating. Exactly. That's
Oh yeah, you got to be
key.
able to. Yeah, it's all about the tone of the voice.
I was just thinking about looking at astrology videos and charts before the show. Okay. And I thought I was alone. And says, even audiobooks I can't listen to if the voice doesn't sit right with me. I know. I'm like, I won't read, I won't finish an audiobook if the voice is off. I'm like, I can't do this. It's like nails on the chalkboard.
Yeah, I was
Can't.
just gonna say.
Yeah, no, can't, won't. Yeah, so everybody's got some. Oh, look, Majestic art. Oh, you caught that, didn't you? Freudian slip. There was totally a Freudian slip. I said, what's elected? That's for another day, another
I
conversation.
missed that, but I can imagine
Because
what you're
yes, I
talking
think
about.
somebody was like, "Who's elected?" And I said, instead of saying "Who's elected," my mind read "What's elected," and I was like, and she caught that I kind of caught myself like,
Mm.
"Uh-oh, alien beings." Oh my god. It's an interesting conversation about certain voices, tones, accents not resonating or sitting right with us. When I first realized this years ago, I felt guilty. You felt guilty. It's interesting. And, to that end, as readers and healers and empaths, many of us, most of the people I encounter, you included, Donna, you have that voice, that presence as a reader that could work with others. There are some people I've encountered who they have a challenge because their voice might not, like the register of their voice may go like, and it may be they have a challenging time keeping and maintaining client relationships. So that's something too, that paying
Mhm.
attention to how your voice, how your presence is coming along. That's why recording yourself, whether you put them on a channel or not, but just even if you do audio recordings, listening back to how you're coming across is helpful. It's just feedback
Yeah.
from yourself. But I find that interesting. You felt guilty. Guilty because I'm a kind person. I don't want to be judgy, but something in my brain that just can't take in the information with certain voices. Yeah, that's true.
But you know what? I would let go again of that guilt. I'll hold up the
Yeah,
forgiveness card
yeah,
again because really, I to me that's just it's a resonance thing. It's a wiring thing. We just we're all instruments of one kind or
hmm
another, even as human beings, and we're not built to vibrate with everybody.
yeah,
We're not. And
that's
you could
true.
look at that. You could look at that in terms of astrology, right? Lots of times it's just, your charts they don't
Not
mesh,
compatible. Yeah,
right? It could
and
sometimes it's just cultural, sometimes it's generational.
true.
You're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm from a very different generation. I don't understand what these TikTok kids are doing
Yeah.
or
What
whatever.
do they
I
say?
am on
Yeah.
TikTok now, though. I'm proud to say I got myself on TikTok this week because I wanted to be on this
Yay.
this live with Jennifer Lisa Beth.
Okay.
So I'm on there at night, joining her lives. But, so yeah,
Yeah,
it's just a vibration thing
that's
sometimes.
true.
You just, we don't have to be, it doesn't give us permission to be cruel about it or whatever, but you just sort of
Right.
take note and be like, okay,
Yeah.
this person is making me, so
And
it's
you may not be the
information. It's
reader
just
for them.
information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just information. Just like the clients have the ability to choose who they like. A client may can't stand my voice. They're not going to come back to me, and that's okay. But just the same, we may feel a certain way about others. You know, sometimes I'm like, because I'm from California, but I'm Northern California, and I'm wondering, like, I hope I don't sound like a Valley girl from Southern California, because their accent, and even though we're from the same state, it just grinds my gears. Like that vocal fry, of like, please, I hope I don't sound like that, y'all.
Yeah. I've got a
Please tell me
couple
I
of them.
don't. Oh my,
I've got a couple of the same thing in my home state, couple of regional accents that I'm like, oh.
oh my God. Yeah, but
So we all have our prejudices. It's just we're human.
we are. And that again, that's
Mm.
we're human and we're allowed to be human, and that's what it is. Frequency and energy matches, and that's what the Majestic Oracle says. They don't lie to the higher self. Some voices are like nails on a blackboard. It's not judgy, it's frequency. Soul Whisperer says. And I listen to heal the body, clean the house, 8-hour meditation. Sometimes I play two at the same time, chakra balancing. And you bring up a good point too, grounding. After readings, I have to do like grounding activities. And sometimes grounding looks very different for me day to day. It's not like a consistent thing. It might be going to wash my dishes. It might be, walking barefoot on with the tile floors and just allowing myself to feel my feet on the ground, or go to the beach and feel my feet in the sand. It just depends. But grounding yourself, the
Hmm.
ritual of that, or laying down, taking a nap, or whatever that grounding activity. Look up grounding rituals you can do for yourself, and they don't have to be complicated. They don't need to be complicated. But if you do this work for a while, you will start to feel the need to ground inevitably. Even if you're like, I can do 30 readings a day, I can. But
Mhm.
if you could, but I think what I start to hear from people who can do a lot of readings per day is what really helps them to maintain success and well-being is their grounding practices. Oh yeah. I find it intoxicating, Ange, the quiet, no noises. And so at first my husband was kind of getting kind of like persnickety. He's like, you don't go to bed at the same time I do. And I'm like, but you don't understand the luxury of having the house to myself. Even the dog is asleep. Everybody in the
Yeah.
town is asleep. And it's intoxicating. I
Nobody
think,
needs mama at that hour. Yes.
no, it's my time. It's me time. And my mom said it too. She worked in San Francisco and she would travel at, in the night. She worked the midnight to 8 a.m. shift.
Mm.
And she loved how the city seemed. Yeah, it's a city, but it seemed to kind of just simmer down. And she loved that. And she loved like the little places that happen to be open and they all have that little connection amongst themselves. And I find that too. Like I have a connection with the little night creatures. Sometimes they'll pop up on my window and like, hey there. I'm like, I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have grounding? Do you do grounding work or grounding rituals when you are
I
done with
definitely
readings?
do.
Okay.
My yoga mat is one of the most grounding things for me.
Mm-hmm.
In the warm weather, getting outside, bare feet on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
or gardening.
Oh,
What am I
gardening.
doing for grounding now in the winter, this time of year?
Mm.
Just sometimes I sit and knit. I like to knit in the
Ooh,
evening. I keep my knitting
yes.
right by my little chair in the living room, and I just go in there, and that can help me to deepen my breath and just quiet me, because
Oh,
I am quite a multitasker, you know.
yes.
So I feel it's like my hands are doing something, but then and I'm usually sitting and listening to tarot tube. I'm listening to somebody. I'm watching a
Mhm.
video. But
Me
the
too.
knitting itself is grounding and relaxing for me.
I could see that. It's like sometimes I will make, well, I haven't done it in a while, but usually I might make bracelets. Back in the day when, if y'all saw my videos where I would wear bracelets, oftentimes I made them. And that was just like, working with my hands and just kind of escaping, the reality of life. But yeah, sometimes it's just simply shuffling my decks, clearing them for the next day's readings. I just like to shuffle them, get them all good and ready for the next day.
Mm.
And yeah,
Straightening
just
up your table, all that kind of stuff.
I like that. Yeah, I like straightening them up, getting it ready. I hate coming into the like if it got too late and I'm super tired and I leave it a mess and I come in the next day, I'm like, oh, I left it a mess and I don't like it. I like to clear it off and get it ready for the next day. Yeah,
That's your ritual.
that's my ritual to
Hmm.
close it out. And yeah, I mean, in readings themselves, they're different. Like if you're doing a video or an audio recorded reading or an email reading, you can have your whole ritual process going on. If somebody's face to face, you can have your ritual process going on. If it's hotline, sometimes the call just ends abruptly, and then you're like, oh, call's ended. Well, I pause in between the next reading so I can get myself together, breathe, relax, and then I get ready to get back on for the next reading. So each type of offering you give, whether it's in person or virtual, you're going to find and shape your own rituals around offering, your offerings and how you navigate between reading after reading. Do you have a process like how I said I like to clear my table the night before for the next day's readings? Do you have a process for yourself?
Yeah, I'm like that too, whether it's just more desk work that day, but yeah, I got to clear my space before I leave it. I can't walk away from yeah, I have too much Virgo in my chart for that.
I
Virgo's like,
bet.
all right, put my toys away, put everything away just
I
so,
got
and
that too. Bare
yeah,
spots. Yeah. And I got a gang of decks that I keep at the
right.
ready.
Yeah, with
'Cause
all
they
these
get,
decks, you got to keep them in
yeah,
there.
keep them separated. And
Yeah.
then Donna says, Thank you for confirming that the Doritos outside the US taste differently, right? I'm like, is it just me? Even the soda tastes different. Like, I'm like, do they use the same sugar? I mean, and so it kind of deters me in a good, healthy way from going
Oh,
too crazy over
oh,
them.
they're not as good. Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
good.
They're just different. I wouldn't say like, oh, they're bad. It just it's so interesting and it makes you wonder like what do they put in the US chips? It's highly addicting,
Yeah,
highly
probably a lot more
tasty.
crap. That's probably the answer to that.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you, Donna, for also confirming the same. Donna R, I appreciate it. I buy audiobooks but don't go to sleep with them. I hate going to sleep with them because then I hate missing something and then I got to go back and listen to audiobooks. So I don't usually do audiobooks. I don't mind so much YouTube videos because then it's kind of, it feels a little easier. I don't know, like to go back
Mhm.
and fall asleep. Yeah, early birds can have all the worms. That's right. I'll wait for the afternoon worm. Yeah, and if it ain't my worm to have, and it ain't my worm to have.
That's funny.
Well, exactly, Kim. My best readings are done at night. I feel like it's magic. Like
Huh.
they say the witching hour. Um,
See, I've
that's what
never done a reading at night. I'm gonna have to try that.
it's magical.
No, I've never done that.
Veil is thin, and it just feels like now sometimes it could be I'm exhausted and the downloads are coming from a place of I don't know,
No.
loopiness, but it still
Uh,
feels good.
I bet it's good. No, but I know what you're talking about because back when I was lived in the New York metro area for a long time, there's just the buzz, like that buzz is going all the time, and then it would quiet down. And nights when I couldn't sleep, I learned to just enjoy, like, oh, it's quiet.
Yeah,
Especially during the pandemic, it was even quieter. I was just like, oh, finally, everybody has chilled chilled out, calmed down, like
that
to
was a
my
plus.
natural preferred state of being.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was a
enjoyed
nice
that
plus, I think. I mean, there were negatives to the pandemic
for
experience.
sure. Yeah.
But the plus, if you lived in a big, bustling area and to see the freeway was like The Walking Dead, like the freeway's like completely like empty, and you're like, oh my God, or the train systems, like they're all like empty. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. Or when I was at LAX, I had to travel for work. Um, Shortly after they shut down in California, in LAX, quiet.
It was so surreal. The parking lots, the big parking lots and things like that, train stations by us, it was just
I
like you
loved
just
it.
never saw them that empty before. Yeah.
No, and I'm like, and I don't want another pandemic to make it that way, but I wish it could sometimes make
No,
it
no,
that
no.
way. I want to, meditative mind or mantra channels. Ooh, mantra channels. I'll check out meditative mind too. Thank you, Soul Whisperer.
Mm.
Oh, oh, what are the legalities around reading someone else's published books or books on YouTube?
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Somebody needs to research that for us.
I would say there could
Yeah,
be an issue. And maybe
probably
yeah,
so.
there could be issue. I know some people don't care, but now they have just rolled out something very copyright, makes it easy for people to recognize copyright issues as a creator. So I would be hesitant to do it, but I would read like fables and fairy tales, something super old that
Yeah,
you
that's
know
already right.
yeah, that's what I would do. Me, because I don't want no legality issues. I don't want no problems. You, we hear, could you record stories with ocean sounds? Yes, I've thought about just going to get some sound, like, some tracks at the beach and just having it and just finding a story or something like that to share that I could share legally. Oh, Ange says, yes, true. We are all instruments. We are. I love that you said that, Donna, too. And she loves that. I don't carry that guilt anymore about the voices. But at first I did. It's so interesting how we can pick up on
Yeah.
the things that we feel guilty for. We feel like, oh, is this right or no? And I understand more now. It's all energy and vibration. Right on. The voice thing isn't personal. It's just energy. Yeah.
And too, what I've noticed, and I'm sure other people are aware of this too, but like, a lot of times it's not even so much the person, it's just if people are like just nervous, right? If people are just kind of
Yeah.
like amped up, right? So
Yeah.
I often find myself, I spend a lot of time just trying to help people to just sort of chill out when when I'm
That's
with
right.
them or they're with me, and because I feel it in my body right away. I'm like, oh my God, this person's waking me up. And
They could be all
so,
keyed up.
yeah. And there's
Hmm.
so many reasons why all of us are like that right now. I have my days where my husband's like, will you calm down?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I'll have my high strung moments, you know.
talking fast and loud and high, and while I'm cleaning up the kitchen and he's cooking and he's just like, whoa,
Like, yeah, a little ball of energy.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
human, and sometimes people are going through things. There's sometimes where there was this one lady who was clearly upset. She had just gotten into some kind of argument with her boyfriend, and she had been driving and arguing with him. So then she decides she's going to get a reading. This is the great time to get a reading, I guess. And her energy was so like, at first, it was like kind of off putting for me. But when I recognized that she was just all keyed up and her voice was like up several octaves, like I thought she was going to cuss me out, is the energy, because she was still so frazzled. But by the
Mm,
end of the reading, she was calm, and I'm like, oh, I like
right,
her. But at first, I was like, I don't think we a match, because like, whoa, like you're sensory overload for me, and I didn't do it, girl. I did not cheat on you. Okay, I didn't do it.
right.
But she was in a state of just heightened anger and anxiety and frustration. And then by the end of the reading, she was like, "Thank you. You calmed me down." I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm glad. I was worried
Yeah.
about our connection. I was
Yeah, a lot of
worried.
times if we just sort of hold our ground,
Yeah,
without judgment, with love, I sort of tune right in there and I just listen and get what I'm getting about and then just like let it be,
yeah.
you know.
Let it be.
But that's always my challenge because I immediately I like to vibrate with people and then train with them. And so,
Mm,
especially if somebody's like excited and I can get very
that's
and then I
true.
wig myself out and then I'm left annoyed and drained and everything. So my challenge is always to like hold my ground and
Yeah,
enjoy, be excited, but just don't get too much in the like heat up vein kind
keep
of
that
thing.
free. Yeah, because this is that part that we were talking about at the start of this. We got to be, and with if we're going to do these readings, whatever kind of readings we do, to have that higher perspective and to suspend judgment, because sometimes people aren't showing up as their best selves, no matter what medium or venue you're offering readings on. And even if you're doing political readings, sometimes people are not showing up as their best self. And if we can suspend judgment for a moment, it allows us to be able to have more compassion for them and for ourselves, to help them navigate what they're trying to ask or say, and then it becomes a much softer experience for everybody involved. So suspend judgment. Because at
Yeah.
first I was like, I'm gonna hang up on her. And I was like, no, don't hang up on her.
Mhm.
I don't think that's gonna help the situation. She might call back and really blow my hair back. Yes.
But so I'm thinking of, remember Donna's original comment about trying to get her mojo, her own personal reading
Yes.
mojo back. See, we do that to ourselves too. Like there have been times where I'm like, oh no, I can't even read. I'm not gonna read for myself right now, or
Mm,
I'm too busy. That's always I'm too busy, which I
yeah.
have been quite busy in the last few months because I had this
Yeah.
big move. But
True.
finally, I was like, I don't know. I think finally I just missed it. It was like it was
Mhm.
time. It was time to get back to it. And I don't know. I'm trying to story weave here for you, Donna. I'm trying to offer maybe
Yeah.
something that might be to
An
be helpful. What got me
invitation. Yeah.
back?
Yeah.
Like I think I just came back on my own terms of like, well, I miss my cards, I miss my decks. It was just It's so nice to, with the unpacking and everything, to finally have my desk back and to just start to take. So I just started slowly playing around, just taking the decks out, looking at them, shuffling them.
I love
And then
that.
bit by bit, it came back, I started reading for myself again. And
It's
so
like
I don't know, that
grounding.
might be helpful.
It is. Even if you're not reading, sometimes just sitting with your cards. I don't always, just because I have the cards around and about me doesn't mean like, let me bust down a reading for myself. Yeah, that could be a nice form of self care. But sometimes the form of self care is just marveling at the artwork, shuffling the cards, looking at the pretty guidebooks and seeing what you turn to. I love bibliomancy, opening up the book and
Mm.
then picking a random page and seeing what the passage says. It's like one of my favorite things to do with guidebooks. And then just doing that. You don't have, it doesn't have to be anything formal to coming
Right.
back to your ritual of reading for yourself. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just the truth of like however you're feeling in the moment. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like
Yeah.
what if you, just showed up and said, I have no mojo, or I'm still, I don't know, I, are you still mad about whatever, you're still mad, or maybe you're related, but I'm assuming that you're upset because you said you lost your mojo after the election. So coming to the table with that and being like, well, help, you know, like help. I'm still in a tizzy here, I'm still having a hard time. Just telling the truth about our emotional state. Well,
Mm-hmm.
especially if we're showing up for ourselves, like we're just reading
True.
for not just, but when we are reading for ourselves, we totally get permission to do that. We don't have to I hold myself to a much higher standard when I'm reading for somebody else. I've like, I dress up, I put on makeup today for you ladies. I don't know if you can tell in this dreadful lighting, but I do have makeup
I know my
on.
lighting's off.
I
Yeah.
put on clean clothes to be on this live with you, everybody. But like,
We're honored. Like,
but
I
if
feel
you're
you.
just reading for yourself, right? You can just show up as you are and tell the
Yeah.
truth. Just put the
That's
truth of how you're feeling into the card, shuffle that in, and see what you
mm-hmm.
get.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love it. We get to show up just as we are when we're reading for ourselves. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the luxurious part about it. Valley girl, oh hell no, you don't sound like that. Thank you, Ange. And she says I have a calming voice. Thank you. I always wonder because I'm like, please. I know there's some things I say that are kind of like Valley girl
No,
esque.
you're not a valley girl. You're totally
I
not a
hope
valley girl.
I swear we're not all cut the same. Soul Whisper says just the opposite, Ange. I'm sawing logs at night. I love the stillness and peace of the early morning pre-dawn. Now that is a
Mm-hmm.
special
Mm-hmm.
time. Although sometimes I'll stay up till dawn, y'all.
Wow.
And I get to see the dawn. Not lately, but last night I was
Mm.
close. I was getting close to seeing the dawn.
Oh,
But yeah.
enjoy that
Um,
while you can get away with it. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, there's times there is no getting away with it, and I gotta curtail it a little, just a
Good.
little. Quiet shows up for me at night, and I take advantage of the silence to hear what is really needed. Yeah, me too. Me too. All right, so Whisper, thank you for being here with us. I found an answer to the book question. I can't post the link here, but if you search, can you read books on YouTube? Oh, Ange says, I found an answer to the book question. I can't post the link here, but if you search, can you read books on YouTube videos without it being
Awesome.
copyright infringement? An entertainment lawyer addressed that question in that video. Okay, let me screen grab that so I can share.
Awesome.
Thank
Wow.
you, Ange. Good looking out. Because I was curious, because I do see people read books, but then the I'm a protector of the arts, particularly of authors and writers, and so I never want to be the one
Yeah.
that is trampling all over their rights and their,
Hmm.
But but sometimes it is advertising their book. But if maybe there's a way you do it where you read just little excerpts and things, I don't know.
I
So
should
I'm gonna
read
check.
from my own book. That's what I should do.
Yes.
I'll be
Yeah,
doing
you
that.
could definitely do it because you have a book, right?
I
You have there?
do. I do.
You have a book, and it is, I can't wait to read it. Let's see. And thanks, Angie. Yes, sticking to old stories would be wise, I think. Yeah, I would say. Oh, part of the public domain is safe. And that's what I was thinking too about old stories, like
Mm.
classics. Like if you're like, oh, I'm going to read like The Great Gatsby or something like that. You know what I mean? Like maybe,
Mm-hmm.
you know, not a modern
Mm.
contemporary book. All right. Donna said
Wonderful.
I have a couple of tarot dates coming up with friends, hoping that looking at cards and a reading together will help. I think it will. There's something magical about coming together with friends and throwing cards together with like-minded souls. And
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And of course, please, friends, check out Donna's channel. I'm hoping, so we go to Donna's house next for
You're
our little
totally
get.
invited to my house next, whenever we can get it right back together. 2 weeks in a row we did here, so we'll see.
Gosh,
See
I
how it
know.
goes.
Because I wanted to make sure that we continue and we get this
Wrapped up.
conversation wrapped up. Because we were thinking about, if y'all have topics, please leave them in the chat or the comment section if you watch the replay of this video of topics you'd like us to dive into. And one of those topics we were planning on was Mythbusters surrounding Cartomancy. Cartomancy Mythbusters is what we're thinking about. um, One of the topics, the future topics. So
Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
well, so check that out. They are the best. Yes, and Roots and Waves Ange says, having said that, reach out to a publisher or author and ask for permission. It truly is that simple. And oftentimes they will
Mm.
say yes.
Okay, cool.
Within reason, of course, but yeah, they'll say yes. I took a
We could
journalist.
read tarot books. Wouldn't that be fun?
That's what I'm saying. You could
Like
totally read
read
tarot
tarot
books.
guidebooks or, the classics like Rachel
Mhm.
Pollack and all, the whole gang and just
I've been thinking about that. Yeah. Um, and even just kind of just doing just a deep diving in with, the great guidebooks out there
Mhm.
and what wisdom we can glean from it. And yes, enjoy the reading, right? The voice.
Spoken
Yes.
word. Your word is your wand. It's your
The
magic
word
wand. Use the
is your
voice.
magic. Yes, it is your magic wand. We are the magicians. And Donna R says, Yay, party at Donna's.
Come on over, Donna R. Bring your favorite decks. Let's
We crash it at your
go.
pad. So,
Yeah.
bring your favorite, like you said, bring your favorite deck. Yes, indeed, friends. So before we wrap up, Donna, do you have any last thoughts, any final musings on this topic? We've covered a lot in these last two
Yeah,
episodes.
we did. I just, again, just everybody stay cool, stay grounded in the next, couple days, weeks coming up here. Yeah, just keep your wits about you. Take care of your
Mm,
beautiful, sensitive wiring. Tune out from the media if you need to. Trust your own guidance. We do this work for a reason because we're really connected to our own guidance. Don't let that go in the midst of whatever may come.
that's
You have
true.
lots of wisdom
Yeah.
within you. And then
Hmm.
reach out to those that you trust. Vet your sources closely, I would say, when you are online. Careful about
True.
that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Be
Yeah.
discerning about where you're gleaning your information and have a critical mind, not a conspiratorial mind, but a critical mind,
Mhm.
and ask questions within yourself and amongst yourselves. That's that's what's so great about social media, the
Yeah.
effective way. Now, sometimes it can go the opposite way, but just, yeah, protect those beautiful spirits, friends.
Keep the
Yeah.
faith and keep envisioning what you want to happen, what you feel is the highest good for all concerned. No matter
Yeah.
how things look or are being reported, just keep focusing on that
Yeah.
because we are co creators. We are
We are.
powerful.
We sure are. We are so powerful. I want to dive into the neuroscience of tarot. I heard about this one. I think it's in my must read list. I'm pretty sure
I
I added
just
this.
heard about that.
That would be a good juicy one to get into. Of course, we'll be respectful. But there's some parts I want to check out of that book. So just it'd be good discussion points, I think. So thank
Yeah.
you. I'm going to save that too. I'm gonna remember that I'm highlighting the certain comments.
Mm.
Thank you, Ange.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you everyone so much for being here, for all your great chatting and
Yeah,
interacting with us. You totally made the show today, as you always
yeah,
do.
you all are amazing. I feel like I'm in such great company. I love these conversations with you all. And thank you, Donna, for
My
being a
pleasure.
part with me. This has been so much fun. And I appreciate you so much.
Right back at you. Thank you, Kim,
You're welcome. All
for
right,
hosting.
friends. Well, you
Namaste,
all,
you all. Take good
namaste.
care.
Take good care. See you all in the next one. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.